soon. And then we have Federico Del Basso against Rasmus Bjorklund in the other side of the bracket. So all Italian final. Because last time we've been in Italy, we had GP Verona where Samuel Estradi fell at the hands of Mike Krasnitsky in the semis, not being able to take home the title. But him looking there in his MTG Madness T-shirt on the sidelines definitely wants his friend to get to the finals and take it home. That also means that there's two more Italians in qualified for Pro Tour Theros in Dublin in just a few months' time. That it will be joining him on trips. He will be very happy about that one. The Italians traditionally bringing a very big contingent to the Pro Tours, and off we go. Emanuele Giusti already laughing there. Here we go. Turn one, Tenacious Dad. That's Emanuele Giusti's trademark card, I would say.
Yeah, it's the key card to make most of his sacrifice cards go over the top. Bubbling Cauldron, the uncommon artifact, and Blood Baron, the common 3-mana 2/2 that gets +2/+2 whenever you sacrifice another creature. And Christoph Aukenthaler has his work cut out for him.
Yeah, definitely. He doesn't have a lot of removal. We saw Doomblade, which is not going to be that much work, but also Liturgy of Blood, both of which are splashing. But actually, we might not even get there. Emanuele Giusti with just on 2 lands here, already facing off against the Warden of Evo's Isle, so a 3-mana 2/2 that makes your flyers cheaper. But Emanuele Giusti, does he have the 3rd land? Yeah, he did draw the 3rd land, so finally we'll be able to put some more cards on the battlefield. What does he have here? Maybe Dragon Egg, Blood Baron, Undead Minotaur.
Definitely looks like he has a lot of options. There's also a Flames of the Firebrand, which he's probably considering because the 1-mana discount Warden of Evo's Isle grants for flying creatures can turn ugly really quickly. Emanuele Giusti knows that he's a little bit behind on tempo, so he definitely doesn't want Christoph Aukenthaler to be able to cast a Messenger Drake just yet.
Yep, so the Flames of the Firebrand gets rid of the Warden, also deals 1 damage to Christoph, and the Tenacious Dead attack was another one, so Christoph down to 16, but now with 4 mana up, definitely representing an Nephalia Sea Kite. So Emanuele Giusti might be wary of attacking here, even though he can bring back his Tenacious Dead. It would mean that he might not be able to cast another creature.
Dealing 1 damage here is most likely not worth running into both Nephalia Sea Kite and Briarhorn.
No. Briarpack Alpha?
Briarpack Alpha.
Yep.
So Christoph Aukenthaler, if Christoph doesn't have a play here, it's good for Emanuele anyway. So definitely correct to play around the Sea Kite, which is a 2/3 flyer with flash. So.
Wow, we already have an update from the other match. Rasmus Bjorklund already up a game on Federico Del Basso. His green deck doing some work, even though actually Federico Del Basso's deck is quite fast in the white-red archetype. So the Sea Kite attacks for Christoph this turn to bring Emanuele Giusti down to 18 and not 198. That would be unfair. Also, Seacoast Drake to hold the fort in the meanwhile. So Christoph definitely already some nice flyers there.
Yeah, and Emanuele Giusti already not on a start that's designed to kill his opponent quickly. So he's going to have to build up some kind of synergy that the blue-green deck won't be able to break. But that includes somehow compensating for the 2 to 3 damage he's going to be taking per turn.
Yeah, here's the Undead Minotaur attacking into the Seacoast Drake. Yep, nothing happens here. They deal some damage to each other, but both survive.
Emanuele Giusti might just play the Ring Flash
he will.
To get rid of that Seacoast Drake. Every point of damage is significant, and he definitely doesn't want to take 3 each turn. Just imagine Christoph playing another flyer and then...
Christoph actually thinking about this, so I'm guessing he might have Negate. Okay, I was thinking more Ranger's Guile, but Negate works also protecting his Seacoast Drake. So if Christoph Aukenthaler has a follow-up, maybe something like Trollhide, which we've seen in the quarterfinals.
Christoph also doesn't know how many good negate targets there are for him to counter something. And Emanuele Giusti did leave open 3 mana this turn, so he really didn't use his mana except for that lonely Ring Flash. And now Trollhide resolves, so the Regeneration Shield is up. And Emanuele Giusti doesn't have a removal spell for either of the blue flyers. So,
so he's down to 13 here.
Really inefficient use of mana, and he would love to be facing some ground creatures, because that's where his deck really shines.
Yeah, the racing is on here. Emanuele Giusti now swings back for 3, dropping Christoph Aukenthaler down to 13. And I also saw an Accursed Spirit in his hand, which actually he might put to good use at racing, because he also does have Act of Treason in his hand. So actually, this might allow him to race enough. If he draws a sacrifice outlet, he could also actually just use Act of Treason, attack with a creature, and then sacrifice it. But he might not get to the point, because he might lose this race, dropping down to 8 from the attack with the flyers. And Christoph Aukenthaler now with 6 mana definitely has to have something to play. For 3, 4, it is a domestication on the Accursed Spirit. That's even better.
Yeah, that's huge. Once again, a 3-power creature, perfect target for domestication. And is Emanuele Giusti going to be able to do something about that?
Domestication is such a powerful rare. You can see why it was bumped up to a rare in the M14.
To add insult to injury, Emanuele Giusti just drew Blood Baron.
Yeah,
so if he had that in play, then domestication would have, well, not really done anything. Well, it would have done something. Emanuele Giusti could have sacrificed the creature targeted with domestication, and even if Christoph Aukenthaler decided to domesticate Blood Baron, then sacrifice another creature would have caused the domestication to fall off.
Yeah, exactly. So here Emanuele Giusti thinking about what he wants to do here. Already down to 8 here. Actually facing lethal. He plays the Blood Baron here, so he will be able to block the Accursed Spirit with any of his 3 creatures, but those 5s will take a big chunk out of Emanuele Giusti's life total.
And it's highly unlikely that Emanuele Giusti can present 13 damage next turn, but with the help of Act of Treason, it might just work. Emanuele Giusti can only attack for 5 in the air, and then has to decide what to do with the Accursed Spirit. I wouldn't get my hopes up, but there is a small chance that Emanuele Giusti can
make a comeback. Yeah.
Yeah, even if if he goes down to 3, taking control of the Seacoast Drake means that he's going to live for 1 more turn.
Oh, wow! So here comes Frost Breath from Christoph Aukenthaler. He has still a lot of cards left in the tank, and yet taps down. I'm just reading the card one more time. We'll take care of the Blood Baron and the Minotaur, meaning that even the Accursed Spirit will get attacking.
Yeah, no, that's probably
he has to block now.
That's just too much to handle, I suppose. Forcing a chump block out of Tenacious Dead and bringing Emanuele Giusti down to 3, who has now basically no shot at racing Christoph Aukenthaler, while also not really presenting anything to stop the bleeding.
Yep, so the 2 creatures stay tapped because of the Frost Breath. There is a Pitch Burn Devils, no 5th mana though, for Emanuele Giusti, and those flyers look to have it sealed. Along with that Accursed Spirit, I don't think there's nothing Emanuele can do here. So yeah, he scoops it up, so Christoph Aukenthaler up a game. On the back end of 2 very good auras, Troll Hide on a flyer, swing for 3 every turn, and domestication, taking your best creature. That was maybe trying to race me, but I think Christoph Aukenthaler was winning that one.
Emanuele Giusti just
no way it would happen.
Didn't have the mana in the beginning, and then didn't have the spells to really back that up. Turn 4, he had a 4th land, or when he dropped the 4th land, he only cast a Ring Flash for minimal effect that got countered by Negate. And then things just went downhill. When the Troll Hide came down, he was representing 2 black and a red, but couldn't do anything about it.
Yep, here you see Federico Del Basso on the left. He's playing against Rasmus Bjorklund on the right, and the players are now in game 2. We've told them to wait a little bit on us so that we can see both of their decks. Federico Del Basso with blue-red, starting off with Compassion Knight. Rasmus Bjorklund on the table very quickly with an Elvish Mystic. So off to a great start. Federico Del Basso was the 7th seed coming in, so he played on draw in game 1. That might have had a big influence on the outcome of that game. Rasmus Bjorklund with a turn to Colonian Tusker, so 2 mana 3/3. But thanks to the Elvish Mystic, doesn't need a 2nd forest even. And now Federico Del Basso can't even attack with a Compassion Knight. Just a Griffin Sentinel for him. Colonian Tusker is such an efficient creature.
Yeah, and we see one of the players coming out of the gates, turn 1, turn 2, and now we see another 3-drop here, while Federico de Basso has a 2-drop and a 3-drop. So this showcases how fast of a format M14 Limited really is. You don't want to fall behind when your opponent can just drop a Colonian Tusker on turn 2 and then maybe follow it up with an Advocate of the Beast.
Yeah, you don't want to keep a hand of 3 lands, a divination, and expensive cards, because by the time you get to play something, you're already down to 11.
It's not a Rumbling Bailout, but Canyon Minotaur comes down for Rasmus Bjorklund, so just adding to his board of 3/3s. And now Federico del Basso is facing a task here of stopping these 3/3s. Of course, Capacious Knight can grow up to 3 power if you have a second planes, but you're basically giving up your whole turn, so that's usually not an option.
Yeah, Federico del Basso attacks with his 2 1-power creatures. I think he has a Thunderstrike in his hand. Yeah, he does. Also Goblin Shortcutter, which he could have used, but wants to, goes for the Rasmus Bjorklund goes for the kill here, but Federico Basso will now be able to play that Thunderstrike, but it's not the best of trades when there's also a Colonian Tusker hammering for a few damage. However, he does only like 1 mana to play a Chandra's Outrage, which could kill the Tusker very efficiently.
And he by attacking here, he does have the luxury that Rasmus Bjorklund is tapped out, can't play any kind of tricks of his own, tricks or removal spells. So that was quite a nice exchange, even though Federico is still facing 3 a turn.
So 3 mana, Blur Slivers, Rasmus Bjorklund adding the damage very fast, even though it will not get past the Griffin Sentinel. But attacks with both, so...
Who knows, Rasmus Bjorklund might just have a trick of his own, but...
Nope, doesn't look that way. Still finish it off with a shock if you wanted to. Might actually save it for the Compassion Knight later. So we'll see what he follows that up with. No, nothing, but Fiendslayer Paladin for Federico del Basso doesn't help him this very moment. His white-red deck, which looks kind of aggressive, also has an Angelic Wall. Is that what you want to be
usually
doing?
Not a good sign, yeah.
Yeah, but can hold off the creatures quite effectively. So he can play the waiting game. If he just draws more lands, he can start growing his Compassion Knight to good proportions.
It's very possible that he boarded in Angelic Wall as well, because he is facing a deck with Colonian Tusker, Canyon Minotaur, and even like Blur Slivers. All the creatures we see get stopped very effectively. So kind of like that after boarding.
It makes sense if you can go somewhat long. Here, Angelic Wall blocks the Colonian Tusker. There's a Thunderstrike for Rasmus Bjorklund as well. Plays it on his Elvish Mystic to kill the Griffin Sentinel. Gets in for 2 damage with the 2/2 Blur Sliver. Drops Federico down to 12. While him being still on 17. But if Federico starts drawing lands, Rasmus actually might be in trouble. So Federico doing the slow draw, draws a shock.
That would have been good.
The previous turn, the killing of the Elvish Mystic, that would have been great. Federico does seem to be drawing those cards 1 turn too late, but then he needs them.
It's quite interesting to see once again the mana being a problem. Not only the amount, but also the second white required to cast Fiendslayer Paladin. So really shows again that you want to have the most color consistent draft deck possible. I don't really think that you can go into more than 2 colors without ample fixing. Here a timely shock deals with the first striker of Federico, and everything goes into the red zone.
I'll be shocked if I don't see a second shock now on Federico's
on
side.
the other side of the table. Might just be targeting the Blur Sliver here.
Yep. There he goes. No surprises here. So just 1 damage that Federico is dealt thanks to the Elvish Mystic. Rasmus seems to have a follow-up, so 2 green. 2-2?
It's really quite interesting that
slow roll.
Rasmus Bjorklund seems to be...
Okay, there was a judge clearing up some situation, probably the live tool, so he was waiting on the judge to tell him what's going on there. So
it's interesting that Rasmus Bjorklund's deck is almost exclusively made out of cheap creatures. The most expensive creature he's played is the Canyon Minotaur, which is just a 4-mana 3/3. So we haven't seen Rumbling Bailout, we haven't seen Spore Mount, we haven't seen any of the red flyers. So basically a super aggressive version, but one that can't make use of the 5 lands that Rasmus has drawn.
Yeah, the problem for Federico now is that he spent so many resources, trying to kill the creatures that he doesn't have any lands. But once he starts drawing lands, yeah, he drew a Compassionate, which he can use the extra mana for. Wants to trade them? Yeah, okay, doesn't matter. Just plays the Compassionate there. Doesn't have any white mana up, so can't pump it up. There is something unclear here. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. There's a Compassionate. Federico Del Basso is still waiting on extra lands here. But now Rasmus Bjorklund can't really attack without a combat trick. The Angelic Wall really pulling some work here.
Rasmus does attack with his 3/3 and
but now I think there's a Flames with the Firebrand post-combat. So 1 damage to Angelic Wall, 1 to Compassionate, 1 to Federico, drawing down to 10. But he has to draw a land now for the Chandra's Outrage, surely.
he's been waiting for a long time. No.
All right, for an update from the other match, Christoph Aukenthaler takes the game and the match, defeating the very impressive deck of Emanuele Giusti. Still no 4th land for Federico Del Basso, who just plays a Goblin Shortcutter. He had it in his opening hand, but couldn't do much better. And trades it off with the Elvish Mystic here. And the Tusker puts Federico down to 7. Another Tusker.
That's huge, because now even if Federico draws into the land, he's always going to be behind on the board. It just draws a Sentinel Sliver, which doesn't do anything against Calonian Tusker. So is he just going to go down to 1 and then be almost left without options? Or
Does look that way.
We basically know that there's a chump block incoming, if not this turn, then in the next turn.
So the Swede Rasmus Bjorklund looking to close the gates on an Italian being in the final.
No, not a good
Lava Axe
for Italy.
Yeah, Italy is out of the game. Federico Del Basso loses as well as his countrymen. So now we have a Sweden against Austria final here at GP Rimini 2013. Those were some lightning fast matches here. The semis being done in just a little less than 20 minutes.
Yeah.